So we're here with Chris Thornley from Squirrels Not Butter. Squirrels Not Butter is a partner of the Cocodona 250 race. And Chris, you've also been a partner of Aravaipa's for a long time. How long has Squirrels Not Butter and Aravaipa been supporting each other?
I looked this up recently, and it turns out it was Javelina 2015. So we were so fresh. Our company was spanking new. We started in the third quarter of 2015 and connected. It has been such a great partnership, at least on our side. I've enjoyed everything about the Curry family and the team that you've put together, and um, yeah, that's a long time. 7 years.
Yeah, we echo
My
that.
company's only 7 years old, so
Yeah, I mean, were we one of the first events that you activated at?
yes, it was actually Mogollon Monster, and I think Noah and oh no, I can't think of his brother's
Jeremy.
name. Jeremy. Yeah, I think they still had the race then.
Yeah, that sounds
So,
right.
yep.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for being such a long-time partner with us, Chris. We love your product, and you're a pretty good guy too. So it's been good getting to know you these past 3 years. So yeah.
Yeah.
What tell us about Squirrels Not Butter? What's the story there?
Well, for maybe those who haven't heard the story, my wife originally created the salve in our kitchen for our daughter's eczema. So it was created to heal damaged skin. Then it turns out this guy that I had nicknamed Squirrel when I used to own a tree service, he decided to use it as a chamois butter for mountain biking, and said this stuff is really, really great as an anti-chafe. So squirrels, possessive S, nut butter is how we got the name.
Awesome. So, and it also worked great for your daughter's eczema, right?
It does, yeah, 100%. So really, it's any kind of dry. Everybody seems now, because I'm in the business, everybody seems to have some weird spot in their skin. Their skin's our largest organ, and so it's just a way to keep those areas hydrated using natural ingredients. We just minimized everything for those who have allergies to whatever citrus or whatnot. So it's that's why it smells the way it smells, because there's no essential oil added for a fragrance, just for people with allergies to be able to use our product.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So the past couple of years, Chris, you've been out at Fort Tuthill running
Yes.
the aid station at Fort Tuthill, and had volunteers from Squirrels Nut Butter helping out. What's a story or an experience from working that aid station that stands out for you?
Well, it's 200 plus miles into the race, and I love it because everybody's in the zone. And on year one, I must say, I thought, because you get into the city limits of Flagstaff, and then you hang an east out to Walnut Canyon, and you're so close to Flagstaff. I really thought that people who were on the fence of dropping would just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to roll into Flag and have a beer and pizza." And I don't know, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but people don't drop at Fort Tuthill, and I was very, very impressed with that, because mentally that's pretty crazy with 200 miles on your feet, and you're gonna go climb Eldon.
Yeah, you're within a couple miles line of sight of the finish line as the crow flies, and you have
Yeah.
still almost 40 miles to go.
Yeah, 36. Yeah.
To me, I think it kind of feels like a victory lap once you get there. You're like, I think I'm gonna make it. I know that I still have that one big climb, but I just have that one big climb.
Yeah. One last big climb.
And
Chris.
when you did it, I did come up to you. I think you were napping in your Suburban, and I reminded you how cold it is on Eldon, and to make sure you brought a puffy, even though you were the one that put the course together. That sticks out in my head.
Yeah, I think
All
I could.
right, RD. Well, here you go. I guess you were RD. I don't know. Maybe Steve was RD. I don't know, but yeah, it was just funny, like telling you.
I'll appreciate any help I can get out there. And yeah, Steve is definitely RD from day one or day zero.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, that's a good story, Chris. I love that. So, Chris, runners are going to receive a tube of squirrel's nut butter in their runner bag for Cocodona.
Yeah.
Is this your standard product? Like, tell us about that.
It is. It'll be a half-ounce stick, so it's super easy to fit into your hydration pack or even the pocket on your shorts. So you can use this, on your toes, obviously in your crotch, your inner thighs, your weird armpit spot, the hydration pack rub marks, or if you don't, if you have another container of it, you can just use it on your lips for wind and sun. There is no SPF in it, but we do have a discount code for every runner, Cocodona Lube, all caps, for a 20% discount, and that's off of our U.S. website, squirrelsnutbutter.com.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, thanks again so much for supporting the race, and we love hanging out with you at Fort Tuthill, so thanks for supporting the race.
Yeah, I'm psyched to be part of it, and from the beginning, it's a heck of a course you put together, and Steve, you do an amazing job as RD on that. So, thanks again, you guys.
Yeah. Do you have any standout moments from this last year?
I don't right off the top of my head. Sorry.
I just snuck that question in at the end, so no worries.
Like three days straight working, your brain's dead.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. 3 days. It's an ultra marathon itself. But everybody that rolls in, they're also appreciative of all the volunteers, and they realize what it takes to put a race like that together. Because there are so many aid stations, and the volunteer time is so long, and it's quite the commitment just to volunteer, and all the runners just seem so appreciative.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Well, we are too, Chris. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks you guys.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Hey there, we're changing gears a little bit here now. We want to talk about our Cocodona charity bib runners. And for that program, Wander Project is facilitating the charity bib program for us. And we've got a couple people here joining us. Amy with Wander Project, would you tell us a little bit about this charity bib program?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Steve and Jamil, for allowing us to run charity bibs for Cocodona, the Cocodona 250. This is our second year doing it. And really how the charity bib works is, instead of an athlete paying for their entry, they opt to do a fundraiser. Wander Project supports our athletes from once they decide to do the fundraiser and register all the way to getting them to the finish line. And they can raise funds for any charitable cause that matters to them. And then a percentage of the funds that they raise will go to that cause later on in the year. This year for Cocodona, we have 5 amazing athletes that are choosing to run this race for a purpose. And so we have one of those amazing athletes on already. Her name is Anne, and I'll let her introduce herself again in a second. But we have 3 out of the 5 charity bibs for 2023 have already hit their fundraising goal, which means that they have a whole team of support. Their community, their friends, their neighborhood, their loved ones have helped them raise the funds necessary. And so I think Anne maybe even just came in from a run for training, because now she's 100% in the event. So instead of paying for your race, with a charity bib, you can opt to fundraise, engage your friends and family, and then all that's left to you is to train to run 250-ish miles.
Just that. That's it.
Just that.
So like I said, we have Anne with us, who's one of our 2023 charity bibs, who has already, number one, surpassed, I think, is that right, Anne? Surpassed her fundraising goal. And so I would love to hear from you, Anne, about why you chose a charity bib and kind of what it's been like for you so far.
So I'm Anne, and I chose the charity bib because for me, well, I went in there, saw the different choices, and I saw Bigger Than the Trail and looked up what they did, and it hit a spark for me. It just hit something for me. My oldest son, who's about to turn 24, has had major depression since middle school and severe anxieties. And with them, they provide through BetterHelp, they provide counseling for those who need some help with their mental health issues or illnesses that they may have. And it was very hard being a single mom raising a son that had those problems. And even still now, he never leaves the house. He just stays inside. And he sends me little notes when I'm on my runs to keep me encouraged, keep going. And that's the main reason I decided to do the charity bib. And of course, what an amazing race to do that for.
And why are you choosing to run 250 miles? Is this the longest distance you've ever done? Will you share a little bit more about that journey too? Because I think you've shared a little bit with me, which is super inspiring.
So I like to tell people I'm really the underdog, and I know going into this, one of my friends was mentioning it back in April, and then of course I watched the live run in May, and I was just like, man, I need to do this race. I know maybe I'm not the fastest, and I'm not that person that you're going to think that's going to go out and do something like that, but I am the one that has the heart and the drive, and I've been getting out there doing my runs daily. I did a 12-hour fundraiser run in my local park, raised funds for Bigger Than the Trail, and my friends came out. We've had a canopy going up. It was kind of like it was a race. And yeah, I'm just a little crazy, but most trail runners are. We just love to go out there, and the beauty of it too, just being on the trail and meeting people in the community.
So, Anne, with the combination of running, your passion for running, and then your passion for making sure that people who have access to mental health services, what has it been like with asking for donations and receiving donations and that whole fundraising journey for you?
So it hasn't been too hard. At first I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. How am I going to do that? But honestly, there's a lot of people out there that this hits with them. It's home for them. They know somebody, or they have a friend that has a family member that's gone through something. I have several friends that their own kids have had problems, and just knowing that there's somebody out there that can help them is what gives me the drive. And the fundraising's been pretty easy. Everyone was pretty helpful. Bigger Than the Trail allowed me to use their logo to put on shirts to give away to people who were donating. So, it's just fun. I love it. And it makes me feel like a better person.
Well, we appreciate all of your efforts. And maybe the last question I have for you is since you are doing this as a fundraiser and you've had so much fundraising support, when you're out there in Arizona in a few months and you cross that finish line, how do you think that you can bring your whole community in as a thank you for their support along the way, or are they going to be sending you messages along the way? What does that support look like for you, and how are you going to encourage them to do that?
I think so. I'm going to have my other half with me. He'll be crewing me. I have people that are coming out to support me. I have my friend who she's a co-coach with me with trail running. She has decided to sign up. She has not done that officially yet, but I know that she will be doing that in the next month. So we plan to be out there together, crossing the finish line together. And I know people are still sending me messages constantly. Just, if I'm having one of those days and I'm like, oh, I got to get out there, it's raining, I get a text message from a friend that says, go do it. Come on, you got this. So I've got a lot of people encouraging me. I'll probably
awesome.
crossing the finish line too.
Sweet.
Well, we are encouraging you to, and we are so grateful for all of your posts and your awareness on kind of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And we're grateful to have you as part of the Wonder Project community. And I'm sure Cocodona feels the same way with just spreading the word about what you're doing and using their event as your platform to do all of this.
Definitely.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us about the Charity Bib program and the funds that you're raising. And Jamil, I want to take the time to thank you for, basically donating these 5 entries so that Charity Bib athletes can fundraise for through Wander Project can fundraise for the charity of their choice. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, of course, we're excited to see all the different groups that will benefit.
Yeah. Sweet. And Amy, thank you for making it possible.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without you guys. So thanks, Steve, for spearheading it, and Jamil for the opportunity, and Anne for being such an amazing, wonderful person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's get into the meat of today's topic, which is talking about the course changes and some new distances for the race. So
new distances.
Yeah, new distance. What, you act like you don't
That's
know.
some big news for Cocodona.
Yeah, it is some big news, yeah. So I guess maybe we could go over to the course view, the screen with the course on it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So what you're looking at right now is the whole course from the south, starting in Black Canyon City and then finishing in the north in Flagstaff. So this goes back to what our plan was for 2022 with the race, was to start in Black Canyon City, traverse north through the through the Bradshaw Mountains, go through Prescott, and then work our way through Sedona and then up into Flagstaff. So that was the plan. The Crooks Fire threw a wrench in that plan, so we started in Prescott, did a loop around Prescott with an out and back down to Skull Valley. So we're returning to the original course, which is going through the Bradshaw Mountains there. Super excited to go through the Bradshaws again. We have added one thing from the first year, which is a water station in that first stretch. So you got a aid station at mile 11 at Cottonwood Creek. The next aid station is at mile 33 at Lane Mountain. And that's a really tough section, super hard climb, really loose, a lot of up and down sections exposed and in the heat. So
yeah, it's deceiving because of the up and downs and the rollers in the middle. It's not just straight up. It is up and down and sideways and everything. And
loose and on baby head. I call them baby head cobbles. So yeah, that's a tough section. So added a water station there. We're going to have to take the water in with mules.
I think we're still recommending carrying probably minimum 4 liters.
4 liters. Yeah.
I know I had between 5 and 6 liters, and I gave a liter away. So I would say, for this one stretch specifically, you can't carry enough water, and you want to get your race started off on the right foot.
Yeah. Great point. So yeah, after we cross all the way through the Bradshaws, we drop down into Prescott. So
can you talk about any impacts from the fire?
Yeah.
Before Camp Kippa?
So the bulk of the fire was in the area that we're zoomed in on now. I'm headed out there tomorrow to check out that section. Most of it's on double track, so the Forest Service has said that all the double track is in great shape. They said that the single track is still open, so that's what I'm heading out to check out.
That's a little surprising to me, but that is great to hear.
I agreed. I was surprised that it's open. So yeah, I'll get some information tomorrow, and if we need to do some trail work on it, we'll get out there and do some trail work. And if we have to shift the course just a little bit, there is an option to stay on double track all the way up to Camp Kippa. So we're definitely going through this area. Hopefully we stick on the single track, which is what's shown right now. So then the course joined in, last year's course joined in, right in this area on the south side of Prescott. This time we do have a little change, and it is shown. Yeah, okay.
Is that a power line cut or something right there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a double track. So a little change from last year. Last year we were on the Schoolhouse Gulch Trail. This year we're going to be closer to Goldwater Lakes. So that's just a tiny little change that
Prescott Circle Trail miles.
Yeah, for the better. For
Yes.
that single track is really awesome through
Yeah.
the lake section through there.
Really great.
So yeah, and then the next large section is roughly the same, or is exactly the same from last year. I keep saying that, and I keep seeing areas that are different. So last year, because of the fire, the Forest Service fire crews were set up at Watson Lake Park, and so we had to go around the east side of Watson Lake. We'll return to the original course from 2021 to stay on the west side of Watson Lake. Just a little bit better, kind of slick rock, single track through the granite dells there, and then you get to cross underneath the outlet of the dam, which is a beautiful little riparian area in the desert, which is always awesome to have. So from there, Iron King and the section through Prescott Valley stays the same. We had a new aid station last year, Fain Ranch. It's named Fain Ranch because of the great history that Fain Ranch and that the section of the ranch that we crossed through. But it's actually located at the Arizona Downs racetrack parking lot. So that'll be the same. That was new for last year. And then the section where we go through Fain Ranch, which is right along Highway 89, and then cutting away from Highway 89 is the same as last year. So some cross country travel, some rougher sections that we're running through. It was not people's favorite last year, but hey, that's the name of the game. When you're connecting 250 miles through Arizona, there's some sections where you're going to have to do some cross country running. So that's that section. Last year, a new section for us was just above Jerome. We took a new route into Jerome, which we're very happy about. You get some really cool views into Jerome and of the United Verde mine. That is the same again for this year. Same course all the way through Clarkdale and Cottonwood. And then we get into Sedona. So this is where we have some changes. So Jamil, I'm actually going to have you, let me cue in here, and then I'm going to have you talk about this new section. So we had a water station the past couple of years in Sedona where it's shown right there. Same location. We just didn't advertise it. We are this year, both this water station, sorry, that I was hung up on a different piece of information, so scratch that. After this water station here where we cross Red Rock Loop Road, we do have a change to the course, and yeah, Jamil, go ahead and tell us about that change.
Yeah, so we're still climbing up Sherman Mountain, and then we're going to be descending down kind of towards the heart of this part of Sedona. Last year we stayed a little higher up on, I believe, the Skywalker Trail, and we're instead going to be going down here on Herkenham Trail and then Old Post, and then ultimately to Super Secret Slick Rock, and then we'll be climbing up Ridge Trail. So this is just gives you more red rock scenery in this early part of Sedona that we didn't get to last year, and it does get you really close down towards Cathedral Rock, which is just across the way here. So some incredible views, and then climbing back up will give you, because we're kind of losing a little bit of the airport loop as part of a new aid station location, I believe, and I guess I'll toss it over to you for that.
Yeah. So happy to add that, especially I can't wait to get out on that section on Thursday, the Ridge Trail, climbing back up to the airport. Jamil said that was really an awesome section, so excited to see that. So then we're taking a pretty much straight shot through Sedona. We do have some road running, so instead of taking a loop around the airport like we used to do, we're just dropping straight down in the neighborhood, crossing 89A, and then going up to Posse Grounds Park. So we really loved our aid station that was at St. John Vianney. They were great to work with the past couple of years. The views from the church were amazing. We outgrew that space. The parking was a little bit tight. The sleeping area was a little bit tight, and it was hot being on the asphalt of the church parking lot. So we think we have a better spot for it now. It's a huge park. We're going to be in the area called the Hub, which is an indoor space that we'll have use of for sleeping. It's just tons of grass area to spread out for the aid station and to hang out in the shade on the grass to get a little bit of rest and respite. So yeah, stoked
and then
about that.
Leaving there, this new trail here is incredible. Like the views from here are surprisingly unbelievable.
Huh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that when I ran through. So yeah, that's great. And then we'll just connect back into where the old section connected to Jordan, right about where the screen is now. So connecting back into the Jordan Trail right there, and then the course headed east out of Sedona is staying the same from last year. So that was a change that we had last year, where in 21 we left Sedona, headed west, and climbed up Kasner Mountain grade. So this year we go under the Midgley Bridge, great view of Oak Creek there, and then run along the creek before crossing it. So that's another section where you're definitely getting your feet wet. Before you climb up Kasner Canyon Trail for some amazing views back down into Sedona. Again, a water station here that's shown this time. Previous years we hadn't shown it. We're calling it out this time so you guys can be prepared for what's out there. And then, this climbing up to the Schnebley Hill Aid Station and then doing a loop to come back to Munns Park. So another change that we have for this year is the location of the Munns Park Aid Station. So last year we were at a trailhead. It's somewhere in here. There's a trailhead. So last year we were right in there. This year we'll be at the golf course. So we have an indoor space for sleeping. And for those of you who did the race last year, we had an out and back from the aid station, which caused a lot of congestion at the aid station. A lot of people there at one time. So that'll be alleviated because it's not an out and back anymore. Okay, and then a couple of final changes. So leaving this section through here, last year we were on single track. There's a single track. I don't know if it's shown on here. Oh yeah, it is shown on the
left side
here.
of the screen in a faint red.
Yep. So we were on this single track all through here, which is a really great single track. It's quite rocky, but because we added some mileage in some other sections of the course and to keep the course down to 250, we're jumping onto really nice, butter smooth double track through there before we jump back onto that single track to take you to the Kelly Canyon Aid Station. So that's another change for the course. And then Fort Tuthill and most of the loop around Flagstaff is exactly the same. They have done some trail work along the rim of Walnut Canyon. I've heard that the trail has just been improved, and
I believe it's Arizona Trail reroutes to get the trail more on single track.
Yep. And closer to Walnut Canyon rim. So excited to check that out this week, and then I'll get the course updated with that. So those are your changes to the course. But now we want to talk a little bit about changes to the race. So Jamil, why did we add these distances? What's the overall vision for the future?
Yeah, I mean, we of course wanted to start with the 250 and the epic point to point and having a couple years under our belt. But I think, the vision of this race is really to connect these communities and these amazing landscapes together. And we want to provide more opportunities for folks to, I guess, be part of that vision and more opportunities for these towns to connect together. So, we are going to be launching some additional distances. We have 2 new ones for this year. And the first one is going to be basically a half Cocodona, so a 125 miler. We wanted to do something that wasn't just 100, just like we didn't just do a 200. So we've got a little bit of a stretch, but it's going to be, do you want to talk a little bit about that route for us?
Yeah, sure. And we'll jump over here back to the map. So I really love the fact that it's exactly half of the 250 course. There's something special about that for me. So we'll start right at the halfway point of the race, which is in Jerome. So the halfway point is actually pretty much right at the mine here, right where runners are coming down Jerome Perkinsville Road. They're crossing actually through the mine proper. Yeah, you can see the mine here, and as you pass by the mine, you're looking off to your right, and you can see the cuts in the mountainside. So pretty cool to go through that mine there.
It's going to be in this parking lot right here.
Yeah, I think here we go, right here. So yeah, the start line will be in this parking lot looking into the mine there. I just love that they're, the part of the Cocodona race is the history of Arizona from the small towns, the ranching and the mining communities that we pass through. So perfect place to start in Jerome, right at the halfway point. Runners will bypass the Jerome aid station, but they'll basically, run through town, and then instead of doing that little out and back to the aid station, they'll just continue.
Just hang a right turn on that road and continue on out.
Yep. So yeah, 125 miles. The start will be on Wednesday. We're thinking 7 a.m., but that we may flex that just a little bit. But Wednesday, May 3rd will be the start. So it's in the middle of the Cocodona race. It'll start with basically the leaders of the race. It'll be a little bit behind the leaders of the race. I think it's 10 or 12 hours behind the projected first runners coming through the course. So you'll be at the beginning of the pack, starting out on that 125-mile journey. And then it's the exact same course, same aid stations, barring that first Jerome aid station. But same aid stations. It ends up being a 3-day and 2-hour cutoff for 125 milers. So
it's really nice. I think most anyone could get that done, which is really cool.
I believe so. So yeah, if you're not sure that you're ready to take on the full 250, but you're interested in the distance, this would definitely give you that experience. So we hope to get registration launched and open within the next few weeks. So sometime in November, mid-November, we hope to get that registration launched. So yeah, super excited to add that in. Thanks a lot for the extra work that puts on me, Jamil. I love it. Yeah.
You're welcome for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it is going to be a little different style. It's not your typical 100-mile-esque race. There's going to be more distances between aid stations, but also more amenities like these sleep stations. So I think for those that have the full Cocodona 250 or other 200-mile races on their bucket list as an athlete, this could be a great kind of primer or practice run to kind of get your gear dialed and everything.
Yeah. I think you're right. And especially if you want to do Cocodona, getting out on the second half of the course and seeing how that works is great. So yeah, excited for that. So then another distance we're adding, 36-mile distance for the last 36 miles of the course. Jamil, you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, wanted to give, again, another opportunity for people to join in on the fun with Cocodona. And I think this one could be perfect for crews, for spectators, even for volunteers. Let's say you want to volunteer earlier in the week and still participate and get out there and pin a bib on. We've got this 36-mile option that's going to be just around Flagstaff. It's that final push, and that's going to be a Friday morning start. Do you want to, I guess we could take it to the screen real quick.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Might as well.
So I like to have this
layers.
view. It gives it a little bit easier way to look at it. So yeah, it's that last loop around Flagstaff is what we're saying for this 36 miler. So you start at Fort Tuthill and then do this big counterclockwise loop around Flagstaff. So you go through, the section around the airport, which doesn't sound appealing, but is really beautiful with a bunch of big pines. You go through Walnut Canyon, which is an amazing area to run through. Very, very high on the list of cool places to run in Flagstaff. And then cross through, you get some views of some Sheep Hill is a cinder, old volcano cinder mound. So that's another thing that Flagstaff is known for. So that's pretty cool. And then you get this big burly climb up Mount Eldon. And get to look back on the city from Eldon, and then it's a pretty quick drop down and then a finish into downtown Flagstaff. So really cool tour of Flagstaff for that 36-mile race. As Jamil said, we'll start on Friday morning, still nailing down the time, but that'll be Friday, May the 5th. So that'll be towards the back of the pack with runners. Kind of middle to the back of the pack with the 250 crew. So you'll be running with the 250 runners. And then the cutoff for that, we just have it the same as the overall cutoff from the race. So that's how we tooled the cutoff times for also the 125 miler. So it's a 27-hour cutoff. So you got plenty of time to do 36 miles. And I'm sure there'll be some folks out there smoking it pretty fast too.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see what some of the faster folks can do on this one. And then I think it's a cool opportunity, for our 250 runners to have some new energy on the course as well. Someone else to maybe cheer on as you're going by.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, yeah, trying to build Cocodona into a multi-day, multi-race experience. And, that's what we got new for you. So, thanks for joining us today. Jamil, anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. We hope to do, a few more of these, maybe monthly periodic updates. But if you guys do have any questions or any feedback about the event, you can definitely comment below or reach out to myself or Steve. We're as available as we can be.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.